Welcome to Logis. Logis is an all-ends delivery service developed by Mohamad Atrash and Hamza Oumeziane. Logis is a multi-platform solution for businesses and entities who provide logistics services. Logis aims to streamline and optimize their process by abstracting as many repetitive tasks as possible and offering services like location tracking, real-time state updates, and more. Logis is meant to be used by entities who manage deliveries, be it for their own business or for that of others. As mentioned previously, Logis is an all-ends service. By that, we mean that all entities implicated in a delivery are accounted for in our service. As such, there are different user types, all with different permissions and interfaces. At the top level, there are the providers, the beneficiaries of our service. Providers are the entity we've talked about previously, the business who manages deliveries. Other users are sub-users of providers. First, there are the store owners. These are the entities which are the beneficiaries of the provider's services. Basically, those are the entities who need deliveries to be accomplished. Then, there are the drivers. These are the provider's employees who complete the deliveries. Both of these sub-user accounts have their own logins and interfaces in order to accomplish their responsibilities. Finally, there are the clients. Sometimes we refer to them as end clients because they are the final beneficiaries of any delivery. These are not users in the traditional sense because they have no login. However, they do have access to some features and interfaces, mainly the public tracking page in order to keep track of their deliveries in real time. So before we jump into the live demo of the app, let's go through a quick theoretical example to further emphasize the dynamic proposed by Logis. Say you have a logistics company, John's Drivers, which completes deliveries for others. This business would be the previously mentioned provider. This company would contract other companies, for example, Maxi and Super C. The latter two would therefore be the store owner's sub-users of the John's Drivers. Maxi and Super C can add jobs to be done from their interface or by implementing our API, which would reflect directly on John's interface. Finally, there are John's Drivers, which obviously would be the driver's sub-user. Alright, enough theory, let's jump into the live demo. Assuming you're logged into a valid provider account, the first thing you'll see is the dashboard. For now, it looks pretty empty, so let's go ahead and make a route, have it executed, and show you guys all of the different interacting parts in our service. As we have explained previously, a route is composed of multiple different jobs and is associated to one driver. Every specific job must be associated to a store owner. Therefore, the very first thing you're going to want to do in order to make your first route is to create a store sub-user account and a driver sub-user account. In order to do that, you're going to have to navigate to the sub-user section and fill out a simple form with all of the information for both accounts. As you can see, the new driver, John Doe, does not yet have an average rating because he has yet to complete any job that is rated by any customer. Likewise, as you can see, the new store owner account, John Gerard, which is the store owner for Maxi, does not yet have a company configured for their account. A company for a store owner account serves to configure the color schemes for the account for the tracking page and for the logos, the banners, etc. In contrast, Ihab Al-Halabi's account, which is responsible for the store Bon C'est Bon, has their company already figured out. Once your sub-users are configured, you have two options when it comes to creating your very first job. You could either do it from your account directly and go to Job Builder, select a store, then select a client, or you can log into a store account or send the login information to the store manager and have them create the jobs from their interface instead. For demonstration purposes, we'll go ahead and log into the store owner's account in order to show what their interface looks like and how they would create their first jobs. Keep in mind that you, as the provider, can create a job under the name of any specific store owner. Additionally, a store owner can configure their API in order for jobs to be automatically created, and it will have the same behavior as creating them manually, as will be shown in this demo. So let's create our very first job from the point of view of a store owner. The first thing the store owner is going to want to do is to create the first client, because every job must be associated with a client. In order to do so, you have to navigate to the clients page and then fill out the form in order to sign up the first client. Now that is done, you have two options as the store owner in order to create your job. You could either do it by navigating to the jobs page and clicking on the plus icon, or you could navigate to the job creator page for a more comprehensive and full view of the job information. Once you are at the job creator page, you can select the client for which the job will be and fill out information about the job. For example, you could add some notes, item counts, a custom deadline. You could decide whether to notify the client by SMS or not on job updates, or you could override the job address. As mentioned previously, the provider gets real-time updates whenever a job comes in. This is a quick demonstration of the provider window, which is open on a separate window, receiving the job right away. Similarly, the provider also gets immediately informed if a job gets deleted, and this is a demonstration for that as well. In fact, the provider and all of the app's users are constantly updated about important information like a job state, a client's address, a route state, and etc. through WebSocket. For the purpose of a more fruitful demo, let's create 2 more clients for Maxi and create a job for each one, and then head to the Bon C'est Bon account and create 2 jobs for 2 of their clients. As we log back into the provider account, you'll notice that there are now 5 unplanned jobs for today. Currently, we have 2 store owner accounts configured, 2 driver accounts configured, and 5 jobs to plan for today. The next step now is to go into the routes page, and from here, click on the plus button to create a new route. In doing so, you will automatically see all of the jobs that are yet to be planned. Currently, we only have the 5 jobs that we have created. From here, aside from filling out the basic information like the driver, the start date, the end date, and etc., you have a couple of options when it comes to deciding the orders of the jobs for the route. The first and most basic option is to simply click on the markers on the map, and the jobs will automatically take the order in which you click them. The second one would be to go through the dialog, and again, the jobs would take the order in which you click them in the dialog. The final option, which is in our opinion the best, is to select jobs by area and have our algorithm in the backend decide the best trajectory, minimizing the number of kilometers driven by the driver. Let's go ahead and give this option a shot. You can add additional information like the starting address and the ending address to get a more precise result. Additionally, if you want to start with any specific job or end with any specific jobs, you can also add these in order for the algorithm to put these at the end. Basically our hard-coded alternative. Once that is done, simply click on generate path and wait a couple of seconds to get the response. Now that the job order has been decided, let's fill out the missing information and create the routes. In real time, you can see that the driver, on his mobile phone, has received a notification indicating that a route has been assigned to him for today. As a quick side note, any users that are relevant to this job have been notified that this job has been planned. Jean Gerard, for example, now sees the job state as planned, and any specific client, if visiting their public tracking link, will also see the job as planned and see the route's deadline. This public tracking page is also updated in real time. Once the route has been started, it will tell the client how many jobs are left before him. Once his job has been started, the client will be able to track the driver's location in real time. Now that the route has been created, the driver can start the route on his app. Once he does, all relevant entities will be notified immediately. The provider, for one, can start tracking the driver's location right away from his routes page. Other entities, like for example, the clients, will only be able to access the driver's location when relevant. On screen is a quick demo for the live updates during a route. Location tracking aside, the provider is notified whenever the driver progresses any job. To allow for a quick assessment, the markers and numbers colors are also updated in accordance to a job state. Once the route has been completed, the provider can view the route's replay with the timestamps from the routes page. Simply click on the route, then load the replay, and then view the replay. The replay viewer shows you the time range for which each job has been active. Additionally, if you click on any specific job marker, the playback will jump to the timestamp at which the job has been completed, revealing the driver's location at that time. That's it for basic route creation and completion. There are many features which have not been shown in this video. For example, through the public tracking link, a client can rate a delivery after it's been completed. Further, a client could review the photo proof of a delivery, or even access a delivery secret pin, if that is relevant. Route management aside, Logis also offers some complementary features. For example, Logis offers analysis services. The dashboard, for example, contains a configurable graph showing jobs which can be filtered by client, store, status, and date. The analytics page is similar, with pre-configured graphs allowing for comparison of different datasets. For example, you could compare the number of deliveries each driver has been handling for the past few months. This data is also exportable. That's it so far. If you have any questions, you can type them out in the comments, or you can visit logisapp.ca/docs for the documentation. I would recommend visiting the documentation for its API section if you are planning on implementing our API. However, it also has a getting started section which will help you get started if this video was not clear enough. Thank you tremendously for watching. Please keep in mind that Logis is still work in progress. If you encounter any bugs, problems, please do reach out to us, as this will be immensely appreciated and we will make sure to fix that problem. If you have any feature suggestions, you could also reach out to us and we will try to implement them as well. Have a nice day.